The European Central Bank defines inflation as a broad increase in prices, and then they add to this that this might not be a broad increase in prices due to a broad increase in quality. So then if this is what inflation is, in order to know whether or not a certain thing is or is not inflation, it does not suffice merely to observe phenomena, but we must also observe the causes of the said phenomena. Now, some people expand this definition of inflation and say that it must be also due to increases in the monetary supply, and then they argue that because the government is the only entity that can print money, the government must be responsible for the rising prices. Now, it must be stressed here that increase is more of an addition than, the increase in prices in virtue of the amount of money that is currently in circulation, because it adds that it must be an increase. But anyhow, so in order to know of this broader definition, we must also know the causes of the event. But of course, if you ask somebody who defines it such, well, is inflation really occurring? They might say, well, obviously inflation is occurring, because they can go back to that earlier, more general definition that leaves the causes out of account. They add the causes in. If I say a spot on the skin, or if I define a mole as a spot on the skin as caused by sun exposure, and then I say that is a spot on the skin, therefore it is a mole, therefore it is caused by sun exposure, then I need to conclusively establish that that is the only type of spot on the skin. I'd also like to mention that sometimes people talk about basic tenets of economics, and will again distinguish between different meanings, as in basic as in anybody can see, or basic as in a building element of. Likewise, there is economics and different schools of economics. I might also distinguish between, say, Christianity and Protestantism, which is a wider subgroup of Christianity. Now, that you can interpret the Bible simply by reading it is a basic element of Protestantism, but it's basic in the sense that, not that everybody can see that as true, for otherwise there would not be Catholics, but is basic in the sense that it builds up the other elements of Protestantism.